Okay, so we're gathered here today to start this podcast, which
Ladies and gentlemen.
we don't even know the name of this podcast.
What is this called?
What is this even called? Well, we asked Chat GPT for some really good.
We're gonna go into those right away.
Ideas.
Oh, no.
There was one winner in that group. That was one really good one.
There was no winner in here. I mean, like, we can ask the audience to talk about it, but I'm not really sold on Guitar Hero Groovecast.
That's the one. That's the best one that they had. Guitar Hero Groovecast. We don't have to have the Guitar Hero. It could just be the Groovecast.
The Groovecast.
That goes hard.
But then, like, if you double click on the podcast, you're expecting a bunch of dudes to talk about, like, fucking Motown and like Michael Jackson.
It'll be about
groovy.
It'd be grooving though. It's their
problem.
It
would be about Groove Coaster.
No, bro. Yeah, so I played this game at the arcade once, like 5 years ago.
Yeah, it was a really formative moment in my life. I had to make this podcast.
They had Megalovania, like
I'm gonna speak on the
Megalovania.
I'm gonna speak on the whole games community, like right now, like.
Yeah, I know a lot about the game. Don't get me wrong. I played it once 5 years ago. I'm an authoritative figure in the community of all 2 people that play the game nowadays. Sorry, I don't mean to throw shade at any community.
Oh, they're gonna get really mad at that.
They won't watch it even. They won't even watch it. They don't even know we exist.
No, we're nobodies. Bro.
Exactly.
It's all right
now.
Pretty much.
But think about it. So, like, the Microsoft Activision acquisition. I mean, it finally went through like yesterday. Huge, big stuff. And like, even when we were just talking about it, right? As soon as the news broke that they were gonna buy Activision, they were already talking about Guitar Hero. Like Phil Spencer,
immediately.
They immediately were just like, yeah, you know what? We'll explore the avenues of like bringing a Guitar Hero game back. And so like a Guitar Hero game in 2023, the modern like video game landscape. We know how Live Surface works. How Live Surface doesn't work. Like,
we have first-hand experience on how it doesn't work with Guitar Hero Live.
Yeah.
They've tried this before.
Exactly.
Log in for 5 bonus plays.
Oh boy, I get the privilege to play songs in the game I paid for? Awesome. That sounds great.
I'm paying for replays. But the thing is, this was in 2015 where all of this was just already scummy practice, from iPhone games.
And it was an iPhone game.
It literally was.
It was literally an iPhone game.
iOS
that they ported the console.
Yeah, no, straight up. But like, so how like with games that have subscriptions nowadays, I'm thinking like Rocksmith Plus. If this game comes to life, if they start saying shit about a new Guitar Hero game, I think the most important way to approach how to think about it, it's going to be like a subscription based. You got 500 songs out the gate. Probably they're probably going to add stuff like every other week. Do you think they would like outsource charting tools like they do for Rocksmith Plus?
Yeah, I was going to say something like that because I believe Rocksmith Plus is like community driven with their tabs, right? Like they grabbed tabs from community members to put into the game, and there's thousands of songs in that game, right?
Which is great.
Yeah, that's a cool model. I really like that. I think Guitar Hero would do really well to copy that sort of model because we have so many talented charters that make songs just for free. Well,
there's always like there's always active projects going on in the scene from like a ton of talented people, and that was like my first thought with the news is like, how does the community get involved in a game like a new Guitar Hero game? Because I know like the biggest like community point I can think of towards the end of the series life originally was like Warriors of Rock, like oh, let's put in songs in the game that the community's wanted for a really, really long time. Holy Wars, Black Widow, Laporte, more Slayer, and like how do they like involve the community with a new release? Because if a new game just comes out and that's it, without any community involvement or hype behind it, will it do better or will it do worse? I don't really know.
Well, it's tough to say because what is the community, really? We're kind of a fragmented community. Are we even a community, us four? We all do very different things with the game.
We absolutely do.
I play console, I play the old stuff, I play for score. Nobody else really does that. I'm a very niche subset of the community per se. So
Aren't
it'd
we
be
all?
tough to. I mean, yeah, we're all in our own little niches, I suppose.
Yeah.
But it'd be tough to please everybody, especially like Clone Hero kids that only play like super fast tappy stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry to disappoint, but they're not going to cater to that because
They're not going to be interested.
because that's a top
No.
0.01% of people who play the game that can
Yeah.
even do that or even think about that. It would be alienating to a lot of people.
Yeah, and there would still be like tracks that would probably satisfy a handful of that niche or whatever. But
Absolutely.
at the end of the day, like the standard set for watching the game is just so fucked.
Yeah.
It's so fucked, and like, but in both a good way and like a really know how I feel about this way. But you know, like I wouldn't like dive deep into that. One thing's for sure is that people just want to play Guitar Hero 3 again.
Yeah,
They just want to
for
play
sure.
like Guitar Hero 3
They do.
again.
Oh,
like,
bring this to PS4. Oh, I hope they
Bring-
remaster this. I see those comments daily.
People have been saying this every single, like, for years and years, being like, they need to remaster Guitar Hero 3, and it's like, I get it, you know, like, my first Guitar Hero game was Guitar Hero 3, you know? But it's like, I mean, you know, how well would it do even if they did remaster it? Would they
I
they
got an
want to?
idea.
You got
Here.
an idea?
Hold on. It's already been listed on Activision's website, Guitar Hero under Game Pass, right? We're talking about Rocksmith Plus from before as well.
That's true.
What if, hear me out, what if they made a Guitar Hero platform, just called it Guitar Hero,
That'd be the move.
made it a game that you got included with Game Pass, like other rhythm games have been on Game Pass, right? They could still sell it.
Mhm.
But it would be, hey, you can get this if you get your Game Pass subscription. Just go buy a new guitar in store. That way, there's still new guitars available. There'd be a
Yeah.
subscription.
Yeah, absolutely.
They could add DLC down the line, and that way they could get all the old hits that everybody loved, whether it's Guitar Hero 3, whether it's World Tour, whichever.
Just
and all of them.
relicense.
Yeah, do the
Yeah.
Call of Duty
One
model,
platform.
basically. I don't know how much
Yeah,
you guys
and
follow
even-
Call of Duty, but Modern Warfare 3, that's coming out soon, is just pure nostalgia bait. They have all the old original
Yeah.
Modern Warfare 2 2009 maps in there. They're bringing a whole bunch of old guns. The model right now is to play on 25-year-old people's memories of their childhood and sell it back to them. And
Yeah.
if they do that for Guitar
Yeah.
Hero, I'm down. I don't care. Sure, I'll buy
Yeah,
it.
I
I'll
mean,
play it. I love
reasons
that
are-
actually. It'd
Oh,
be perfect.
Let's got $150 for a bundle right now. If you
Yeah.
put that in
I'll do
front
a
of
lot
me.
more.
Yeah.
I'll do a lot more.
If-
Don't do that, but I'll do a lot
Where's
more.
my credit card?
If they're like, hey, bro,
I've got my
we
wallet
got
right here.
we got this for Xbox One, and you know, if you buy this for $179.99, we'll give you Guitar Hero 3 songs in it in our brand new Guitar Hero. It's just
Sold.
It's just rebooted as
There'll-
Guitar Hero.
There'll be like a
no
Founders
subtitle. No,
Founders edition where like, oh well, if you
Founders
pre-order,
edition.
you get 20 exclusive songs. You know.
Yeah.
Now, if you
Like
want to
3
reframe
from
this,
each game.
you could reframe this in a negative way and say it's basically going to be Guitar Hero Smash Hits, but newer.
Oh no.
All the Smash hits that you love from Guitar Hero 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
if
6.
Smash Hits came out now and it didn't come out before,
Oh,
it
it
probably
would be
would do really
incredible.
well. You know?
Absolutely.
Not wrong.
If Guitar Hero Smash
Like,
Hits
why-
came out 10 years after,
Why
Yeah,
was
yeah.
it made? You know?
I ranked.
Why?
I
it was
ranked
ahead of its
Smash
time,
Hits-
really.
Yeah, I ranked Smash Hits as F. That's like a bottom
Yeah.
tier game for me.
It's F,
But if it
and
came
I
out
liked
right now,
playing it.
That'd be the best game ever.
Yeah,
That'd be the
I've
never
best
thought
of it that way
ever
before.
if it came out right the fuck now.
That is
Wow,
interesting.
Yeah, you know
Beca-
what?
Because it just makes sense, and like, you know, on the platform topic, like Harmonix has stated that like Rock Band 4, like this is it. Rock Band 4 is a platform. You know,
Yeah.
like they've
They said
stated
in,
that
like,
that's their
2015.
goal
2015
with
they said
it,
that.
and you know, I mean that's what they've done. Like, and in the past, like Rock Band 2, Rock Band 3, like even Rock Band 1, like they were platforms for a little bit, but Rock Band 4 has outlived them significantly.
Big time.
You know,
8 years
It's actually
and going
committed
strong.
to quite a bit too, with
Yeah.
like what 10 more seasons? I think. They
Yeah,
just
I think
announced
they're
Rival.
planning
Yeah.
up to 40, and I think they're on 34 now,
I mean-
33. I forget.
gosh, you know, like it's it's kind of amazing, but at the same time, like and Jason, like you had mentioned this before we started, but you know, like talk about like what happened at Epic.
Sure, I'm a little worried about Harmonix, if I'm going to be honest. If there is a new Guitar Hero, I would think everyone's going to think, oh, is there going to be a new Rock Band? But I'm a little worried about Harmonix. We haven't heard too much about what they're doing. The last news that was public was they were making some sort of musical adventures or journeys through Fortnite for Epic now, since they were bought.
Now, I don't play
But-
Fortnite, but I haven't seen anything about that. Does that exist yet? Has Harmonix even done anything that's made it to the game? I don't
I
know.
have no clue. I have
I
no
don't-
clue.
Yeah.
We don't know.
I know a few years ago they did all those concerts. There was those in-game events, but that was
and those were really well received.
Yeah. So the thing that I'm worried about is prior to us recording this today, about 2 weeks ago, one of the other Epic Games studios, which is Mediatonic, the guys that do Fall Guys, their pretty much entire dev team was let go.
Yeah.
That's such a shame.
Is wild because they existed before Epic bought them. And
I played it at PAX in 2020, you know? Right before COVID at a PAX East, like me, Alec, and his wife and a bunch of our friends, like we stayed on the Fall Guys line for like an hour to play Fall Guys, you know?
Yeah.
It was exciting.
It was great.
I bet it was worth it too, because that game slaps.
It was.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
I had a big Fall Guys like month where I played it very frequently with my friends. It was a great
feel like
party
everybody
game.
did.
It's legitimately still fun. It's still a great game. They just
my
released
dad still
custom
plays
tools,
it. My dad loves Fall Guys.
I love that.
map editor and all that. It's really fun.
Yeah, but so like obviously with like Mediatonic and stuff, like Fall Guys had a it was kind of a cultural phenomenon because it came out at kind of like the height of COVID. Everything was like shutting down. Everybody wanted to, everybody got their stim checks and they got gaming PCs. And so let's get a game, that is, everyone's like, let's play a game that's just wacky and crazy, like Mario
Battle
Party.
Royale.
And Battle Royale.
Taking advantage of a huge trend at the time.
Yeah, it was just right place, right time. Perfect game for that time.
Yeah, and so like off of that, like Fall Guys blew up. Household name. Everybody knows what Fall Guys is.
Yeah.
Does it sound familiar to you? Does it sound familiar to you?
I've seen this one before. I've seen
this one before. Seen it.
History repeats itself, baby.
But it was also in a much shorter time span because, like, I think a year after Fall Guys, exactly. After like a year of Fall Guys came out, like nobody played it. I mean, like you stopped hearing about it as much as you did because they weren't coming out with features quick enough, things like that, and it just kind of like reminded me like, damn, these live service games really need to just pump out content,
pump it out.
But and so like a part of me was thinking, a part of me like in parallel to Guitar Hero and Rock Band from like what happened to Fall Guys and like how they couldn't keep up with the content. What if like 2009? What if they were right? Like pumping out all those games in 2009.
That's a hot take.
Like,
never heard
that's
that
a
before.
really hot take.
I love what Guitar Hero did. A new game every month. I loved it. Back then,
it was great for us.
In hindsight, in hindsight, it's like that was a dumb move, man. They just killed themselves with that move.
But like these games are coming out, and I'm talking about it in school, and people are looking at me. They're just like, "You still play that game? Nobody talks about that anymore." Like I got bullied for playing Guitar Hero. You know what I mean? Like,
everybody like stopped playing it. Like I remember people, at least Guitar Hero 3, and then World Tour, and then nothing else after that. No one talked about it, and like that's fine.
Yeah,
that's
and
cool.
Like,
I was just only presenting an idea. I'm not saying I condone what they did in 2009. Don't take that the wrong way.
But it's like
I know it probably sounded like I was like, oh, dude, 2009.
Maybe they were onto something.
Maybe they were onto something.
Thing though, guys, like Guitar Hero 3 was an anomaly, right? Let's
it
throw
really
that
was.
out there.
It was, dude.
It's
honestly, it was set up to fail with the circumstances it had.
Absolutely, and it overcame everything because at the time it was the first video game to ever break $1 billion in sales.
Yep.
Yes, which is insane.
Well, granted, they had a bit of a built-in advantage being able to sell the guitars with it. So every game, instead of being $60, was like $100 and something bucks or whatever. But still, the point remains: the most successful video game ever in terms of sales at the time, and that's a massive deal to somebody like Activision.
Crazy. So how do they follow that? By putting out the full band the next year. Right,
and Rock Band's already beat them to the punch.
Right, and it did decent, but it couldn't really ever live up to what Guitar Hero 3 did. There's no. How do you outsell the first video game to ever break $1 billion in sales when it's never been done before at that point?
I mean, I think that especially with World Tour, one of the most disappointing things for me is like, where's this game's equivalent of Flames or Jordan? Like that was like a big blow because
I mean you have Satch Boogie, but it's like, not to the same. But
Satch Boogie is only hard because of the engine.
Here's my take that I think a lot of people will agree with.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
I think one of the biggest flaws in World Tour, if I'm being serious, is exactly what JP just said. Pull Me Under as the finale song was the biggest letdown.
So
And I say this
disappointing.
It's a
a
good
As a
song.
huge Dream
Don't get
Theater
us
fan.
wrong. Yeah, but
So-
last song in the game to be the TTFAF equivalent in that game, nah,
bizarre.
it didn't
So
hit.
I got to play. There's this event in 2008 before World Tour came out, but it was sponsored by Target. It was this event called E for All. It was in LA in 2008. I'm sure you remember like hearing about that, Jason. You weren't there, but I wish that like all the homies were there at the time, but I got to play World Tour early. Like they had the kiosk set up, they had the kiosk guitars, kiosk drums, and then they had like 4 or 5 song demo, which had like Everlong, like What I've Done, Love Me 2 Times, Love Removal Machine, and Santeria. So like
I love how you
those
remember
are,
all
like,
that still.
Yeah, no,
Interesting.
because I played it so fucking much. Because I was like, I get to play the Guitar Hero game early. Like, it was so sick. And like, I got to fuck with like the mechanics, the slider bar. I got to play with the new guitar. I got to experience what 5-lane drums were like before the game came out.
Oh,
And this was
wow.
like an event open to the public. This was like E3, but to the public because it would E3 was still shut down to the public at this time. But like I said, it was open to the like they had full game at some point because they had like a whole tournament going on. Like, hey, if you had this top score, then you would make it to like the top 15 bands or top 10 bands that get to play on the stage, and they get full game and full reign of what song to choose. And so rumors were going around already, both online and at this event, and they were saying, "Oh yeah, dude, Fury of the Storm, Dragon Force, it's in here." At the event, like people were speculating, and so I made it onto that stage, and we got to get the full set list, and I was so fucking hyped.
So you
were all the
scrolled,
people.
right?
And so we scrolled, and we're like, "Where's Dragon Force? Where's Dragon Force?"
It's not here. Where
We're
is
like,
it?
And we're like, "There's Dream Theater, but where's Dragon Force?" And I don't know if there's Dream Theater because that required like beating the game 100%. Like you couldn't even get that with the unlock all songs.
That's true. That's when they started doing that back then.
You got the Pandora's box
Feeling
treatment.
of being pulled under right there.
Yeah, like I think we like scrolled through and like what is the hardest song on here, and like people already played Sweet Home Alabama, people already played Beat It, people already played the Metallica track, I believe.
Trapped Under Ice.
Yeah, Trapped Under Ice. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so we settled on Hotel California, and then I was just like, man, where the fuck is the hardest song in the game? Where the fuck is it? And like, yeah, it ended up being Satch Boogie, but the game sucks to play Satch Boogie on.
Yeah.
And
Sliders.
Yeah, the sliders.
Look at our cool new mechanic. You can't even hit the notes.
You can
It
hit a
doesn't
note
work.
in front of the note.
It doesn't even work.
It really didn't work, and I want to emphasize that because like I'm curious about your guys' experience on this too. Like I went on launch night for World Tour. I got the band in the box, right?
Me too.
And I brought it home, and Moose knows this because we were talking about it like a week ago. And I brought it home, and so it came out like the day before or the day after my birthday. My birthday's on the 27th this month, right? And so it had come out. And I brought it home. It was midnight. My mom was not happy. She did not want to bring me to GameStop that night because it was pouring rain out. And the next day after school, I think a Friday, I come home. My mom's got my little friends over there. I was probably in like middle school still or something. And we take out the drums and the guitars. One of the guitars overstrums. One of the yellow symbol on the drums doesn't work at all. And like that was my experience getting World Tour, and it was honestly such a letdown, like it really was. And like I was still on Wii at this point. I started on Wii, and which is apparently very common for a lot of really good players. But I started on Wii. I got a 360 for DLC eventually, as we all did. But like that was my experience with World Tour, and so not even the game itself had disappointed me, but like
the hardware
experience, experience of the game.
And I'm sure that was enough to like, if that happened to you, there's probably like a couple 100,000 people
common.
that happened
Yes,
to also.
a lot
so
of
happened to
they
me
probably
too.
swore off a Guitar Hero
At one
that
point.
We're like, I'm not spending $250.
Yeah. I'll buy Rock
anymore.
Band.
Or like,
Or that.
I won't play this anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not going to invest money into this because it keeps
Yeah.
breaking.
Well,
Yes.
here's a pro tip. 11-year-old me figured out that if you send in a warranty request through Red Octane, you don't have to send the old one back. You get to keep it. So they'll just send you a new guitar. And when I did that, after I clicked submit, after I was done filling it out, there was like no confirmation that said, thanks for submitting, you'll get a notification or whatever. So I was like, did it even go through? I'm just going to do it again. So I got sent 2 free guitars for my one broken one. And then those other ones, they ended up breaking.
They knew, like they knew what they had to do. They were like, we can't ask people to send these back. We just got to send new ones out.
Yeah, we got to make them happy.
World Tour was their biggest hardware failure. I mean, Guitar Hero 3, like, listen, Les Paul's problems or not, they were a huge hit. They were huge. I mean,
the
neck
sensors and the neck connector.
Yeah.
It was a bare just a circuit board. It was touching metal pins.
It's
and I was
pins.
just like, and then like my dad saw it and he's like, "That's really interesting."
And I want to I think what I want to know the most is whether that was considered an innovation by the engineering team that developed these controllers, or if they were forced to cut costs.
That's my theory.
Did they want to use a real connector like in the World Tours? Because, spoiler alert, that fixed everything.
Right?
Yeah.
It fixed everything.
Not so much about the connector type, but I think just the entire detachable neck gimmick all along was just about shipping and taking up less space on the shelf so you can stock more of them.
Dude, I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you right now, having a store, it saves a ton of fucking money. It saves a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
It really does.
Here's one of the other hacks for saving money back in the day. The one that I did for getting new controllers was the protection plans for Best Buy.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
You know what? You're not the first person I've heard say that, actually. Best Buy was crazy with all the rhythm game stuff. Yeah. They had their own accessories, too.
Right? It was $15, not even to
cover
it. Maybe it was $5.
My buddy did that for headsets up until a couple years ago. He'd get a headset, use it for a couple years, and then go back to Best Buy with this little insurance thing, get a new one, and just repeat the process over and over and over again.
It's actually really funny I bring this up right now because I just saw a piece of news that's relevant for this, that if there is a new Guitar Hero, might be an issue for the game, which is just this week, Best Buy announced they're no longer going to be carrying physical media for video games. Like for movies, any DVDs, Blu-rays, things like that. So
which is insane.
Yeah, I wonder if that would affect, if there is a new game, would the guitar hardware be included in that, as a game?
I think at this point, if it's a video game controller, they're going to sell it. And I think with everybody trying to do this digital only move, which I do not fuck with at all.
Nope.
This whole digital media thing, it's just we don't truly own this stuff.
It's on the cloud. We don't
truly own this stuff. If it's in the cloud that we don't have explicit access to modify and change ourselves, we don't own these things.
No.
And so that's a big problem, but it also further pushes the idea that Guitar Hero is going to be this platform.
Yes.
It could be just this big platform where they just give us songs. They just give us songs and we pay a subscription for it because that's how it would work in this current year. And then they would just sell controllers at the local Walmart, the local Best Buy, or wherever. I still can't believe GameStop is alive. But they would sell it. They would sell it there.
I don't know if you heard about this, but a few years ago there was actually a stock run on GameStop. Did you hear about this?
Bro. Hey man, you heard about that?
There's a thing called a short squeeze. I can talk about this for at length if you want. I just watched a documentary about it.
Alec and I actually had a friend that had GameStop stock that they forgot about.
Oh, dude, come on.
Oh no.
And they she cashed out immediately.
Okay, good.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna go with she didn't.
No, she saw it. She saw the news and she was like, "Oh shit!
Oh,
I'm gonna
sell." Why is Robinhood not allowing me to sell?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, and so going back to the controller quality and stuff, it's just I hope they understand the points of failure that happened so quickly.
Yeah.
And the Guitar Hero Live guitars, and that was the last big manufactured Guitar Hero game that came out, which is in 2015. Already, oh my god, almost a decade ago.
I hate that.
I hate that too. I was in college.
That
was my senior year of high school.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah, I was in college, and then my mom took me to GameStop, and I remember getting the game and going home. I borrowed my dad's PS4, and I was like, "This is a game."
It is a game.
It was like
one of the games of all time.
It was like crazy because like I got it. I was in college in upstate New York, and you know, like I bought it and it came and everything. And I had Rock Band 4 before this, and like Rock Band 4 already had its own issues that like the drums barely even worked. But that's a separate thing, yeah, entirely. But which actually, you know what, I will say they had to fix the drums through a firmware update. Which
and
was
even
insane.
then, did it really fix them?
Yeah, and it didn't do anything.
But I got Guitar Hero Live, and I remember my first issue being that the frets got stuck really easily, and
yeah,
it was like don't get me wrong, I have fond memories of like going to GHTV and playing like Ghost Walking, and I loved playing Ghost Walking and Cult of Personality, the Living
Achilles, bro.
Cry of Achilles, probably the most fun song in the game.
Single-handedly got me into Alter.
Yeah, great song, and like the Living Color song that was in there as well. But it was like, it just, I didn't even realize what was happening at that point, like with that service and everything. Like I wasn't even really aware of what was happening. Like I was kind of like, oh, that's neat, they streamlined it, but like I didn't realize like how wrong I was about that. They did not streamline it at all. It was the opposite.
It's so odd to me because, hey, here's a fun little behind the scenes fact. I at one point was interviewed for the community manager position on Guitar Hero Live. This is when I was working at Ubisoft on Rocksmith.
Yep, on Rocksmith.
And, you know, hey, my passion for Guitar Hero, I was like, all right, well, there's this new game, and hey, there's a community manager position. Let's do this whole presentation on doing esports with Guitar Hero again. We can do this. We can do this right this time. And them saying, well, you've got some really great ideas, but we're gonna wait until Guitar Hero Live's a little more popular first before we start doing tournaments. And
wow.
It's just really funny in retrospect to look at that and know that the community manager they did hire lasted about 3 months.
3 months?
But if you look on the Guitar Hero subreddit, the account is still a moderator there.
Really?
I swear to God.
I hope that's an abandoned account.
Yeah,
I'm a mod on r/Guitar Hero.
Yeah, you are.
I'm a Reddit mod, bro.
Under one of your old alt names too, right?
I think I'm an approved
that's
user.
like
you changed it?
That's like my regular ass Reddit account.
Yeah.
FSG Stevie, that's her man.
Yeah.
You know what? That name sounds familiar too, actually. Yeah.
That is an abandoned account, my friends.
Honestly, she was really kind, but I feel like she didn't like the direction of where things were going.
And so she got out.
And she just went, "Yo, I'm done."
Because it's like,
bye.
Bye.
How are you supposed to be a community manager if they won't even let you manage the community?
Exactly though.
How? You know?
Yeah. What does a community manager really do but manage the community?
And it's like we don't even know at this point.
Such.
You know, like we haven't even gotten an opportunity to see somebody be given the reins to actually do their fucking job, you know?
I can tell you from experience when I was on Rocksmith what I did when I was making social media schedules and responding to people and getting the feedback on DLC from the community so I could communicate it to the developers so that we could actually fact check that against sales numbers and see how we were doing with our product. You know?
Wow, what a novel idea.
You know, it makes me realize, like, did we ever really have that with Guitar Hero? Because, like, we got songs that we wanted with Warriors of Rock, but when, like, because we all grew up with this game, and, like, looking back, like, the more I look back on the games that came out, the more I realized that, like, how many of us actually asked for a lot of these things, right?
So, there was a few things that happened in old Guitar Hero days that I would love to see revisited, because they did have people on staff, but they just weren't as forward-facing, right? One of the people who...
At the time, there really wasn't much of a community manager role in anything. Like, social media was hardly even a thing. That was still, like, MySpace era, early Facebook era. Twitter wasn't even a thing when Guitar Hero 1 came out. Yeah, it was all forums. It was Score Hero, by extension, because that's probably where they did a lot of community management, was Score Hero, on somebody else's forum.
There was a guy named Guitar Hero Eric, and I think Alec has met him as well.
That name rings a bell.
He was the guy who ran the tournament in San Francisco that you ended up winning. One of the last official...
Finale, right?
Finale, that's it.
Finale.
Exactly. Eric Finale, that was his name.
I was literally gonna bring him up but I'm glad you know more info about it, because I thought he was the first community manager
yes
at the time, because like I don't know, he was like, I got control of the Guitar Hero Twitter, and like he showed me on his iPhone at the time, and I was like, that's cool, and he like followed me, and then I don't know what happened. The Guitar Hero account unfollowed me, or that was on a completely, unless I was a completely. I'm gonna follow. Oh no! I blocked the Guitar Hero account because I hated Guitar Hero Live, and I unblocked it.
Wow!
Oh, so it unfollowed you.
So it unfollowed you.
Oh no!
I was like, I'm sick of this, bro, and so I made Guitar Hero unfollow me.
Man, you really showed them.
Hey, so Guitar Hero
Really
Eric, that guy, he was the person who helped me set up all of the old tournaments that I would help.
Yes,
with,
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So,
he was an awesome guy. Yeah, I met him in San Jose.
He was one of the first people to really believe in actually helping run events.
Yes.
And so I ended up running in-person events for Guitar Hero and DJ Hero at a giant music festival for like nerd music in Orlando, and at a arcade in Chicago one year. And
nice.
It was ridiculous to see the community outreach for that, right? Like there were people inside Activision that wanted to do it, but the follow-through from Activision wasn't there. Biggest example is when we did the first ever streamed Guitar Hero tournament. They let me cast that for VVV Gaming, and we did the VVV Guitar Hero Invitational, which was back in I think 2012. So that's like a decade
it was 2012.
ago at this point.
Oh my
2012,
God.
and it was Warriors of Rock.
Yeah. We
the
casted
Warriors
that
of Rock
whole thing.
Invitational, and like that was really cool and stuff. And what was that on? Was that on Ustream or was that on Justin?
That was on the first year on Twitch. Right.
So it was like
Twitch.
right after Justin switched over into Twitch.
Yeah.
And like I'm sure there's a VOD recovery of that like somewhere.
The whole tournament's still on YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah. The whole
I remember the setup for it. It was like you had to have 3 people in game, and then they would capture the 2 other highways.
That was my workaround because there was no spectator mode on console.
No spectator mode.
I jumped into a 3-player match, used a capture card, and only captured the 2 highways.
Yeah.
Okay, so I found this tournament. It's like actually well put together. There's a whole playlist on YouTube, 30 videos, each individual matchups. It's not like one big long VOD. It's like
thank you.
Very individual. Yeah, you did a great job.
But
11 years ago, 2012.
It's wild to look back at that and realize that, hey, the winner for this tournament is sitting with us because Alec won that event. And they never gave him his prizes.
Nope.
No shot. Really? What were you supposed to win?
God.
I don't know exactly what I was supposed to win.
I should have brought this down because I still have it here. I legitimately still have a DJ Hero flask that I'm supposed to give to him. I swear to God.
It's a DJ Hero flask.
I swear to God, that was one of the things.
You got to make things right, Jason. You got to make it right.
Yeah.
I will go grab it right now.
I was in your state last month. We should have met halfway. It's okay. No. Next time.
Next time. It's here waiting.
Next time, bro. Absolutely.
I mean, that's another thing. I feel like because I feel like we have to mention off season 2.
Absolutely.
I feel like we have to.
Man. Yeah. No. Like, them.
It was magic.
Them like actually being so supportive of just the idea that Guitar Hero 3 is going to be this. It was going to be like a $2,000 tournament for Guitar Hero 3 in 2023.
Yeah.
Hey, we gotta take what we can get, okay?
Yeah, we gotta take what we can get, man. $2,000 is nothing to scoff at whatsoever.
Yeah, it's not chump change, man.
No,
I mean,
that's like
for Guitar Hero.
For Guitar Hero,
paid for finger quick strip out there for sure.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
Back at MLG in the day, at the Hot Pockets stand that they put up, it was $50. Okay, we'll take what we can get.
Yeah.
You can buy so many Hot Pockets worth $50. You could eat for a month.
So many.
I think it was actually Best Buy gift cards. Now that I think about it.
Probably. You know what? I could totally see that too.
Totally see that. But yeah, no, I mean, like, me and JP just being able to be a part of that was really cool. I think like JP being able to supply the guitars for it was such a fucking clutch move.
It was like
incredible. If we didn't have the guitars, I think like the tournament would have just.
Well, that's actually so. It's funny you mentioned that because, well, first of all, I do have this on my desk.
Yeah.
So I've got a picture with everybody, and then I also have a picture with and I really want to shout her out. It's me, Finger Quick, and Guitars and Scarves notes in it. She painted that faceplate. She's a wonderful human being. I am not that talented. I'm not even close. But being hit up by Hitch. I remember that I was just like on my PC, and I get you know how Twitter works. I get followers every now and then. Like I get a follow from Optic Hitch, and I'm like, I do a double take. I'm like, what? Because I go on his page. He's the creative director for Optic, and I'm like, okay. So I do a little bit of Twitter stalking, and I put 2 and 2 together, and I realized that Optic is putting on this event, and it's going to have a Guitar Hero tournament. And then, like, not even after that, Alec pings me, and he's like, yo, my boy Hitch is trying to get in touch with you. And I was like, I kind of realized I realized what they wanted. I realized that they wanted guitars, and so I got in touch with him, and when we were there, the way that it was set up is that we had our own little, it was adorable actually, we had our own little adorable area where we had a PC set up with a vertical and a horizontal monitor, and like and a TV in front of that with speakers, and like it was roped off, and then behind that was a stage that had a small table set up with a really good monitor. Yeah, Alex got, so that was our streaming setup. It was, again, big shout outs to the community there, because they
up here, that's where they played the game on the stage. That was like the big stage.
Yeah, that was the big stage for us, that was the stage.
Any stage is a big stage.
Yeah. So this is it right here. So
that was the setup. Really good gaming monitor, actually. I'll hand it to them. Really good monitor. Had no input lag. We were able to do 0-0 calibration the whole time, which is crazy, because I can't even do that on my monitor. I have to do 15 on GH3.
It felt incredible. I didn't realize that quick response monitors even existed. And
but
so,
it was it was just amazing, because being able to have moments where we had, I think that the best match was Snigma versus Mackie.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a barn burner. That was so good.
Because they were playing Before I Forget, and it was like, it was insane. Like that was the one big pop off that we had, and like the whole room heard us, because we for a small amount of people we got really loud, and being able to provide the hardware, they had it set up where they had another pools area that was unfortunately off stream, and a lot of people were frustrated by that. But hey, things do improve the next year, right? If it happens, we'll talk about that. But they had one area set up where they had 3 different Xboxes, and one of them was dedicated to pools. And so I supplied 2 World Tour guitars and 2 Explorers, right? So the pool setup, they had went out and gotten just stock Les Pauls, right? And within an hour, they had to just get rid of them because they didn't work.
I didn't even know that.
They didn't work. One of the TOs came up to me, and he was like, "I think one of your guitars is bugging out." And I was like, "What?" So I'm freaking out now, because I'm like this was really important to me. I perfectioned the hell out of those things, and it ended up being the stock guitars, right? The tilt sensors didn't work, the buttons weren't working.
Classic Les Paul.
The strum bar was overstrumming.
Classic Les Paul.
Classic Les Pauls, and so they just got rid of them, But it was it was surreal, getting compliments from the TOs and Hitch and other people about them saying dude, you really carried this with the hardware, we wouldn't have been able to do it, and validation and stuff is sometimes it's hard for me to believe, right? Mm-hmm. Because I get told that I'm doing great all the time, and I always say to myself, am I though? Right?
Imposter syndrome, baby.
Imposter syndrome every single day, man. And but I guess the magic of the event was just the community being there, because people still care. They still care, There
were so many OG players there too, which kind of blew my mind.
Yeah.
Game Freak was there, man.
Yeah.
Game Freak.
Incognito mode under a different alias. He flew under the radar until he was up on stage, and I think somebody typed in the chat, "That's Game Freak up there." I'm like, wait, what?
No, it was you. You were the one who typed that.
No, I found it from somebody else first. I think.
Did you?
Who
That's
was it?
Crazy.
I don't remember who found it first, but I was like, "That's Game Freak." That name I haven't seen in 12 years. The one that I know him.
the one that everybody confused with Gammo. you know?
Yeah, that's the one. Similar names, different people.
Yeah, but it was and Kingsy being there. Kingsy is also an OG.
I love Kingsy.
Kingsy is awesome. We actually played some games on the side. I think I beat him on Raining Blood because I did really well on Flood, but the magic, like, it just showed that, like, it never went anywhere. It's still there, you know? And I think that that's what's important for us to really cling on to in these trying times, which it used to be a lot worse, you know?
I'd say all things considered, we're in a really good place right now.
We're in the best place we've been in a long time.
We have an in-person event that just happened, which I don't know. I'm not trying to like conspiracy theory over here, but I wonder if they knew anything. You know, I wonder if they knew if behind the scenes, hey, you know, there's these breadcrumbs that Activision's been laying.
Well,
you know, we see that
I got
in the community.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, I think just Guitar Hero being there, because Hitch had messaged me like a year prior to this event, like as of like this month or next month maybe. He was like, "Yeah, I do a charity event or something. Would you be interested in hosting like a Guitar Hero tournament?" And so then we got to talking.
That old then. That's great.
Yeah. So like it was kind of just kind of like a right place, right time thing. Like as much as I would like, as much as it was all natural. You know, just like, hey man, I want you to do this thing, and like I was like, oh, a Guitar Hero tournament. That's like a lot of pressure. I wanted to do it in my heart. Like I wanted to do it, and I ended up doing it, which was great. It was just
a lot of pressure.
It was a lot of pressure though because it was in person.
Like
what's the turnout gonna be? I really hope people show up to this, and it kind of surpassed my expectations like 4 times. Seeing the amount of people,
they had to cut off entrance because they were overbooked.
They were overbooked.
They overbooked.
It was a sold out event, and the whole tournament. I mean, like the tournament like had its own set of issues, but like this won't be a problem if next time, if there is a next time, then there'll be more dedicated people to Guitar Hero because there's a lot of crossover between the Smash pools and the Guitar Hero pools, and that was
which actually
beautiful battle. That was its own battle in of itself for the tournament side of things, but player-wise, there are so many Smash players that were just like playing Guitar Hero.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of crossover, and like there's like good players and like a lot of better players than I was expecting that were in that tournament that also played Smash as well. Like Magi,
we met a lot of really cool people. Magi killed it. She
killed it on the stage there. And like, she unfortunately had to drop out because she was focusing on the Smash tournament.
She was in top 6.
Understandable.
Yeah, I get it. Smash singles was like 25K, whereas Guitar Hero 3 was 2K.
Yeah,
Smash singles also took.
I get it.
Smash singles took forever.
Yeah. And also like Guitar Hero 3 took forever also because we have like set time lengths of each match. Each song on average was like 4 minutes. It wasn't even like
people weren't able to make it as well. And then
exactly.
the other thing that happened was that as Alec mentioned, there was crossover, and so people were in a Smash match when their Guitar Hero match was starting,
and vice versa. And so they had to drop out and prioritize, which it's fine.
Like Mackie, so Mackie ended up he was in losers bracket for Smash singles. Right, Mackie was one of the finalists one of 2, I should say, and he was in losers bracket. He went up to the TO. He was like, "Hey, I'm in the grand final of Guitar Hero, so like I can't play Smash." And they were like, "All right, sounds good," sounds good. Yeah. But yeah, legendary grand finals. Fingerquick is a monster, and he also started on Wii, by the way.
Yes, he did.
Fun fact. Yep. And then Alec did his performance, which, by the way, was not planned.
That was 100%.
It was not planned.
It was 100% improv. Like nobody.
Wow. It came off that way, in a good way. If it was planned, it would have been lame. Would have been super lame.
Yeah. No, totally. Yeah.
It was so cool though.
No. Like they straight up. Just because we had like a little bit of time after the tournament, Hitch was like, "Yeah, dude, you wanted to go on?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, let's do it." Let's do it. And so I got to live out every 12-year-old's dream. Every 12-year-old in like 2008.
I'm a rock star.
Monster energy. Like
I winnowly hit the gritty up on the main stage.
Yeah. And then like obviously like channeled Freddie Wong energy. I had to do it.
Yeah.
I had to do Freddie Wong.
Yeah, you did a great job. I mean, I thought that I thought like I was confused at first because I was worried that I would look really dumb because they played rock. He mentioned they played Rock Band 4. I thought that they were gonna like bring out the whole band set and bring us all up or something. And so like I went to go take my headset off and I put my hand down and I was like, all right, just wait it out, you know?
Yeah.
And I was glad that I did, because I would have looked really fucking dumb.
Just walking there upstairs, just like being his hype man or something.
Yeah, it would have been like the most socially awkward situation ever. Been like, yeah, I'm here.
Well, actually, you brought up the Rock Band. When they played Rock Band 4, they had a little bit of technical issues. I think.
Yeah, the battery. Dude,
Yeah,
the
batteries
controller
died,
died.
and I think Slime was playing at the time, and he was like, "What the fuck
Yeah.
is going on?"
Honestly, though,
they did
it
a
was great.
smashing guitar bit. Like, I don't know if he actually smashed the guitar, but that was what the bit was apparently.
Oh.
I don't know. I wasn't. We were still casting the tournament at that
Yeah.
point. It was so fucking loud.
It was really loud, and there was also Sasquatch.
Yeah, he was fucking everything up.
That Sasquatch was walking around.
That dude did not get the memo that it's actually a serious competition for some of these games.
Yeah.
He was just up there like fucking around. Some dude handed him his controller. He was already losing.
Yeah,
the match,
yeah,
but-
dude, that guy was awesome.
Yeah.
I forget his
That
name, but he
Colin.
was
That
awesome.
Colin. His name was Colin.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Colin. Dude, Colin's a legend.
Yeah.
But I get.
What?
Yeah,
I mean,
no, like seriously, the whole event just it exuded fucking. Like,
and I really
awesome.
wish that
Energy.
I really wish
It
that
was
both of you
awesome.
guys could have been there with us, because
Oh,
like,
I had
like,
such bad FOMO just sitting here at my desk
bet
watching.
you
It's like,
did.
oh, I want
I
to
bet
be
you
there.
did.
I want to go sit next to them and talk about the game. I want to go see Sasquatch. I want to go watch the Black Ops 2 tournament behind me.
yeah.
And again,
live
just,
events in general.
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I
It's
miss
so
the
cool.
Big
LAN
FOMO.
event. Like I miss the MLG esports feeling. If that, like that.
Yeah.
Me that
Smaller, more
tournament
intimate.
vibe.
Dude, it was I can promise you, it was 1,000% that feeling. I walked in and I was like, this is just like MLG. This is just like MLG.
yeah, like Alec had called me because like he had like an
I was
all
supposed to
access
get you-
pass.
Yeah, I was supposed to get you in. Like me
Yeah.
and Libby got in, and then I called you because you were also like very much
Yeah,
part
I
of
was-
part of the
yeah.
event, playing the pretty much the exact same or same as of importance role in this tournament. So I had to call JP. I pulled him in. He got the crew pass.
Yeah, I have my crew
Cool.
pass hanging up right there, actually.
Yeah, mine's
and
upstairs.
I have my wristband and
Yeah.
stuff. And
Yeah, no. So like, yeah,
the guitar
I remember
pick.
calling you up, and then us getting that all set up was like really sick.
yeah, like walking in and just seeing the setup was like I really felt like a kid again, because
Mhm.
like again, just as I said before, like we grew up with this game, like we still hold this game very dear, and we'll never let it die. And just the sight of like and even just a sense of community, because like we were able to so easily, when somebody else needed to go do something, whether it was like go to the bathroom or go get food, or like just take a break even, people filled in from the community, and they all did a great job.
Yeah, and honestly,
like
I thought that was pretty sick. Like
that was like a highlight for me.
Yeah, I had like zero problems with that because we were already just such in our own little corner too.
Yeah.
Like we were like by the food stand. Like
Yeah, we
was
were by
gonna
the
hang-
food
No one
stand.
was gonna like hang out. But like that was a huge plus. We were like next to the food stand, so like we can go get snacks, we can go get water, like
And,
really
like,
easily right there.
I'm looking on the
Alcohol's right
monitor.
there.
I'm
It
looking
was
at the
good time.
monitor, dude, and like fucking Slime is standing there like watching. Like that
Yeah.
was like that was surreal to me, because
So-
it was like wow, people still care.
Yeah,
I thought it was kind of cool. They talked about Guitar Hero on the Yard on their episode that they did after this whole thing. They're talking about
Really?
the off
Really?
season. There was like, yeah. It was Nick and Slime. They both went to the thing. They casted the Melee stuff.
I
They were
gotta
there.
watch
Yeah, we
that.
watched the Guitar Hero stuff. That was pretty cool. I forget exactly what they said, but they mentioned it.
Yeah.
I thought it was neat. It's cool. Like Guitar Hero is just
Yeah.
being mentioned by like, but weird crossing of worlds here.
Yeah,
for me,
Like
It's
even
this-
the words being uttered. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's like,
and like I got a raid from like Jack Manifold. Like
Yeah.
while
Like, I saw
while
that. Like,
stream
what
was
the
going
hell?
on.
What
I
the
was
hell
like,
is that
he's
all
been
about?
He was following me for a minute now, and then like I got the raid from him while the stream was going on, while the tournament was going on. I'm like, this is insane.
That's insane.
Yeah, and I know like
The
Ludwig
crossover.
Ludwig had also like loosely mentioned me before. Like he knows I exist.
That's
Which
A
is
lot of
crazy.
people know you exist.
Yeah, like he knows that I exist, so he probably saw some clips. I'm not gonna say if he did or not, but it's very likely he did.
I'll ask
from
him
the
next time I
off-season
talk to
at
him.
least. Yeah, shut the fuck up.
It's always the strangest feeling when you know somebody has seen your clips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When I got the comment from Metallica on my Master of Puppets video,
Did you
oh
really?
That's
yeah.
That is fucking
I-
insane.
I don't think I've still come down from that high. And that
Yeah.
was a long
I
time ago
wouldn't.
now.
That beats me.
Like-
I mean, I've gotten comments from Steve Womet on a couple
Yes.
of his songs and guitars. Like, that's the guy. I know that guy.
No,
That's crazy.
That's insane.
Really
That
talented
cardboard
individual
guy
too.
himself.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. It's so cool.
Really talented.
Like for me, I just do mostly gameplay videos. I'd rarely show my face and do all that. So my stuff isn't very personality driven. It's just kind of gameplay driven. So if you ever see video essays about Guitar Hero or like Watch Mojo top 10 things, if they ever talk about Guitar Hero, there's a 95% chance that my gameplay is being shown. Not many people recognize that, but when I see it, it's like, hey, that's me.
You know,
I did that.
Yeah.
I did that.
I'm pretty sure I used your footage in one of my videos.
Probably.
Essays.
I see it all the time. It's so cool.
I use your flames footage for like a TikTok.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. Like it's just weird how like the content goes around, and it's really promising that, you know, the word about the game just stays alive, and then it still circulates around social media no matter like how it happens. You know, I see World Tour Definitive Edition performance mode gameplay with silly characters. You know,
yeah,
like
that became its own little meme.
It did.
It's its own little thing on
Breaking
TikTok.
Bad,
And it
hidden
happens
ending.
all the time. Like I heard like Plankton singing Taylor Swift, and like that's a viral TikTok and it pops up on Olivia's For You like all the time. I'm like, yeah, that's World Tour Definitive Edition. That's it. That's it right there.
A tweet yesterday after the Activision news broke of someone saying new Guitar Hero screenshot, and it was Master Chief on drums.
Oh my god.
Yeah. The memes write themselves.
Oh my god. I remember when the first announcement of the Microsoft Activision acquisition happened, and like someone ported Clippy into World Tour Definitive Edition and like pinged Xbox and was like, what do you guys think of this? And like the Xbox social media manager was like, sounds like a good idea. And they have no idea what type of fucking ripple effect happened off of that, because even that getting a little bit of little bit of recognition,
being recognized at all,
that set us off, because we're like, dude, they're really replying to a Guitar Hero tweet and like saying that stuff, and like it could be like an ingest like meme or whatever, but that's still recognition. That's more recognition that Nintendo ever gives to Smash Melee.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. There's also another tweet around the same time.
They resent Melee.
Yeah, they probably do. The old one. They don't want you playing the old games. They want you playing the new cool games where we can sell you new things. But around the same time as that other, like the Clippy tweet you're talking about, there was like another official Xbox tweet, unprompted. They did this on their own volition. It was just a Guitar Hero controller. And I forget the caption, but it was like, what song you playing? It was just a Guitar Hero 1 SG.
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. It's like, what do you mean by that? Are you trying to tell us something?
Which first of all, just they know what Clone Hero is, obviously. You know, like they know. They 100%. They know.
Sycamore got 39 million views. They have to know.
They can't, exactly. They can't not know. It's like,
have to know.
This game, this suspiciously looks like Warriors of Rock, but it's not. What is this? You know?
Yeah, it ain't a secret. If it's a secret, that's a problem.
I sincerely believe that they are taking advantage of Clone Hero in the community, and the reason that they never went after it is because it's keeping Guitar Hero in people's minds.
1,000,000,000% yes.
Until it's literally doing the work for them.
Yes.
By word of mouth.
Shit. They don't have to pay for anybody.
Marketing.
That's the best.
No marketing, no hiring anybody.
Nope.
It's just
zero.
I sincerely believe
Look at these losers. Look at these fucking guys.
We got these guys to promote our game for free. Can you believe it? We're not paying them. We don't talk to these guys at all. They're doing it on their own. Can you believe that? Our dead game is alive because of these guys for $0. Nothing.
Yeah.
They look at the views that hashtag Guitar Hero gets on like Instagram Reels and like TikTok and stuff, and they're like, idiots. Idiots. Let's make another rapper skin for Call of Duty.
Yeah. Yeah, buy our 21 Savage skin
for $30.
Nicki Minaj.
Like that shit. That's just awesome. I don't care what anybody says.
Cool.
That shit is hilarious. But
have you seen the skin actually?
I have.
The 21 Savage skin?
The 21 Savage skin.
He's just wearing like pants and that's it. Just shirtless, just wearing some regular ass black jeans. It's like low effort, but it's kind of cool that he's in the game in the first place. But
the Nicki Minaj skin is like my favorite. That shit is awesome.
Why?
It's like her fucking blueprint is like this cracked out
Right, buddy.
shotgun you crank. Shut
Sure.
the fuck up, bro. Hey,
I've seen the skin too, man.
you know what? You ask J-Prez, he'll have a lot more to say, bro.
Maybe I will.
This is all wild to me. I'm like Nicki Minaj skin. What am I
Yeah, I have no
missing?
idea.
Google.com, brother. Look it up.
It's insane.
Oh, you got Googled.
So, and that's another thing. Like, people were talking about, I want to see more musicians in the game, in the new game, and
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not happening.
Nope.
That's
not
absolutely
anymore.
Not in Call of
Not
Duty.
anymore.
Right. Not
Maybe,
after Band
maybe.
Hero.
Hold on, I got an idea. Part of this whole the newest one with Bobby Kotick talking about Guitar Hero. The
Yes.
previous few paragraphs before he mentions Guitar Hero by name, he's talking about different sorts of technologies that Microsoft has, Neuralink and AI and VR.
Yeah.
AI.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
What if?
Oh, okay, yeah. Keep going.
Stick with me here. What if the AI generate real people, real artists, and they make the entire real band fully AI made? They're real animated characters made by AI, so they play their own songs, only their songs. So if No Doubt's in the game, they'll have AI generated models of No Doubt playing their songs, or Metallica playing their songs, or Avenged Sevenfold playing their songs, whatever. Thoughts?
That would be crazy.
I
So
instantly think back to the models that were used in the old games, and the artists getting mad when like Kurt Cobain was singing like.
Yes.
But he won't be
And-
singing
Johnny
that. He'll be
Cash.
And
playing
it
only
ended
his
up in
own
a
songs.
lawsuit.
They'll be playing only their own songs.
Yeah, they did
yeah,
not.
that's
Yeah.
okay. So that's where like, shout out to Taylor Swift. That's where they got her.
Who's that?
Whoever did her she's a pop star.
Oh, I don't
She's
listen to pop.
kinda-
Okay.
She's kind of popular.
I'll look her up later.
Yeah. She fucking, like, whoever did her contract for her likeness in Band Hero did it 100% right, because her model is the only one it is locked to singing her songs. You can't make her sing any
Yeah.
other song in the
Wait,
game.
for real?
You
I
can
didn't
make
know
her you can make her like play other songs, but she will never mouth the words to another track that's
I did not
by
know that.
Taylor Swift.
I had no clue about that.
Yeah. No, so if you try in Band Hero right now, you can only see her mouthing words to the 4 songs that she has in Guitar Hero.
That's wild. Man, she's
Yeah.
a ruthless
Interesting.
businesswoman.
Or whoever was
Clearly.
managing her at the time.
Yeah, they know
was,
their
shit.
was very ruthless. But
Well, they probably made it clear. They were like, look,
we don't
know?
want her mouthing the words to All Nightmare Long. Like, they don't want her, doing that. Or they're probably like, it explicitly, the artist explicitly has to be Taylor Swift if she's moving her mouth to, or if it's only to Taylor Swift's mocap sessions, those are the ones that she's able to sing, in the game. And so whoever dealt with Adam Levine's likeness or No Doubt's likeness, they didn't think about
they
it.
didn't make that clear.
They
Yeah.
didn't make that clear. They should
And
have
obviously
been
that
like,
was a problem to no doubt
and there's
at
a big
least.
problem because
Yes.
they got the shit suit. Like, Activision got the shit suit out of them. Neversoft got the shit, like, absolute.
And
living
that's
shit
another
suit,
thing
out
too,
of 'em.
is that like not only that, but like they had legal trouble over like Gibson too, right?
Yep. Gibson got
Yeah, and
pissed
so
off
it's
about
like-
something.
Yep.
Guitar Hero kind of got the shit beat out of it at some points, and that's another reason why, like, I can see why they would look back and be like, man, do we really want to do this again? Because it's like there's so much trouble associated with doing it right in a way.
I mean,
you know?
it's a licensing nightmare.
Yes, it is. I mean, Moose and
yeah.
I were told that like I think songs were like what, a minimum of like 15K to license per.
Yeah, there was 2 different sets of licensing. One was $7,500 a piece. I forget exactly what he said. There was one like just to use the songs, and one was just for stems, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that we're circling around to this, because going back into AI,
Ooh, AI stems, baby.
AI
stem
stems.
separation. AI stem separation is magic.
Now that is probably the
And-
most likely use of
And
AI
it
that
is
Bobby's
the
talking
most-
about. It's gonna be way
yeah,
cheap.
and
Yeah.
so Bobby was
They
probably
save
like,
a ton of
hey,
money.
yeah, and rock this. They do DIY stems, and who knows if they use AI models or whatever. It's very clearly done by hand. Those are some, like 80% of the Rock Band 4 DLC that comes out is DIY stems. Like, if you listen to the new like one of the newest like DLC tracks, "You're the Best" from Karate Kid. If you like
DIY.
miss in the song, it sounds a little like muddy or watered down a little bit, and that's how you could tell that it's not genuine stems. Now, if you play like old Rock Band 2 stuff where they had unlimited money, you know, they had MTV money, Viacom money to just license out all of these songs, and like you can hear like real stems, and you can hear the clarity difference between
like when you miss, you miss.
You miss, it's like it's
completely
actually
dead
super
silent
clean.
for your instrument.
Yeah,
but you know, if you miss a note in Rock Band 4, you know, in some of the newer DLC, you can tell that they did it themselves. And I'm not going to say that they used AI, but it's very likely that they did.
Yeah,
it's a very likely
even to just aid the process. But I could see Activision investing a lot more money in doing it really, really well. Personally,
yeah.
And let's be honest, if it's not perfect, it's not a big deal. To 99.9% of people, it'll be the people
they'll
like,
never notice.
Are these AI stems? Are these real stems? I'm going to miss a note on purpose. That's
we,
AI.
We definitely have like a hyper fixated side of the like subset. I would say.
Yeah.
You know,
they kind of did it in GH Live. They kind of like amplified just the guitar itself.
Yeah.
You know, I don't remember if you know, when we played GHTV, if we whammied in the song, it would kind of whammy the whole song itself. And then if we missed in GHTV, then it would kind of go to like this like kind of low quality mono version of the song, and it was like kind of like we get missed on guitar. But this is like 2015, and so DIY stems were just becoming a thing. And like the technology didn't progress yet, and it didn't sound great. It was kind of equivalent to like how we did 2 guitar tracks in GHTCP for GH3 PC, and then we would like whammy the song, and then like we would miss, and the song would like get a little bit quieter. But like we missed in the song, but it like got a bit quieter. So it was kind of like that, but like they had their own sort of system for GHTV. But that's like kind of how it was, and I'm sure that they were thinking about, oh, how are we going to license all these songs and get just the guitar track? Because one of the big things about playing Guitar Hero is like when you play, you miss, and the song goes silent, or you know the guitar track goes silent, and it makes you feel like you're really fucking up the song or something. And so like that over time, that's something that a lot of people forgot about. And now it's just reemerging because AI technology is able to separate stems very, very well.
Not perfect still, but very well.
Not perfect, but
very well.
Very, very well.
And I think that actually might be something that artists or licensing, whoever owns the license to these artists' musics, that could be like a positive to them, that it's not perfect. Because, you know, all of the old Guitar and Rock Band games had perfect stems. They're actually real stems. So if you ever come across like meme videos or like X shreds where they have like, you know, they're memeing on a song or whatever, a lot of times it's a song that was in Guitar Hero Rock Band because they have easy access to those stems.
One of the best examples of that is Neil Cicerega, Mouth Sound.
Yes, dude. Yes.
He uses so many
Guitar
stems,
Hero Rock Band.
Yeah, because the stems are just right there.
They just exist on the internet because
which also put harmonics in a lot of trouble with artists.
Yeah. The Beatles Rock Band had a different sort of like decryption method for their stems.
Very different.
I think they were locked down for a long time, but somebody finally cracked them. So like it was very, very, very clear that whoever was licensing the Beatles music, I think it was Apple Corp or whatever, they did not want those stems getting out there. Like that was a big deal to them. So
I just can't believe that they agreed to having the stems. Like that's fucking insane.
Yeah,
they were
the stems to Beatles.
Too.
Yeah,
they were very high quality.
And eventually the code got cracked in the most insane way possible. Like, I don't know if you heard about like how the decryption process works. Because like I try and follow as much like harmonics hacking as possible. Like the way that it got, like this guy got it to work. Rest in peace. This is Maxton. He figured it out. And so he modified the game to feed him back a decrypted version of the song in an emulator because of the way the emulator read the song file in a specific state. It fed him the whole track, and then he was able to just rip the songs from the game.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maxton was
wizard.
He was a genius.
It was
a genius.
It was like, okay, no, what I remember is that it would only play decrypted versions of the song in the menu. And so he told the game, hey, point to this file. And then the game was just like, okay, it's decrypted. And so it fed it back to him, and it just worked. It's absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. And so he just like found this loophole. and that's how they're able to get the Beatles stems. And also, Beatles weren't like, you know, the only ones that were like very precious about their stems. Like all artists are, but one of the biggest ones was Metallica. All their stems getting out too.
Metallica's, I mean, the big thing that I think of from Metallica is the fact that the DLC for one of their albums is legitimately mastered better than the actual album itself.
I made news back in the day too. It was the premier way to listen to Death Magnetic at the time.
Rubin, dude, they fucked it up. Fucking Rick Rubin.
The All Nightmare Long album. Was it Death
Magnetic? All Nightmare Long. Yeah, Death Magnetic. Yep. I had it back in the day too.
Yeah. And
it
so
did sound
like,
worse.
Yeah, and so going back to like, you know, record labels being happy, like they would probably be happy that the DIY stems aren't perfect. You know, like you could isolate the guitar track. It's still mixed the exact same way that the artist intended to or the producer intended to. So it's not like they're decreasing the quality like right away. The only time you're decreasing the quality of a song is if you put it over fucking like some anime song, or you know, like like you know the TikToks I'm talking about. You know, it's just people. It's like having Thomas the Tank Engine and Biggie Smalls. Like it's something like that, and like you know,
dynamic duo.
Oftentimes, like an artist will respond to it and they have a funny reaction, or they don't respond at all, which is probably for the best because they don't want that bad PR. They don't want to be seen, you know, unless like something snaps in them to just start going off the rails and just like denouncing, you know, people wanting to just make this funny piece of art or whatever. Then most of the time they just don't respond. And you know, I've seen like artists respond to like funny mashups and stuff, and I think that's cool. But yeah, nonetheless, I think like the AI stem separation stuff is something that they would absolutely do in this new Guitar Hero game, and it also saves them a fuck ton of money on licensing, I'm sure. But I'm not sure how much, like, you know, the you know, if there's gonna be, because there's a writer strike. I don't know if that's still going on right now.
I think the writers are done, but the actors are still striking.
Yeah, okay. So like I don't know if that's gonna happen with like the music industry, because
it very well could.
It very well could, because there's also, you know, AI voices.
Yeah.
That type of thing. That's a whole different can of worms.
Yeah, it's like a big rabbit hole.
That's a big
new Guitar Hero, fully AI generated songs, entirely brand new original content.
You want Kanye to sing? You want Drake to sing? You want Kendrick to sing? You want you want Kurt Cobain to sing? That's like, you know,
sounds like Fuser.
Yeah.
Oh, Fuser. Oh man.
Yeah. Poor Fuser,
man.
Like Fuser.
Poor
Fuser wanted to try and take all that DIY stuff and take it to the next level.
And Fuser was so good. Like we played to the PAX, you know, like it was really good.
And they did a lot of, you know, the DIY stem separating stuff on most of the songs. Sometimes it was like you could tell when it was super clean, and you could tell when the stems were like super watery and bad. Like I know, like they probably definitely had the stems to like All Star by Smash Mouth and Don't Fear the Reaper by Blue Oyster Cult. But then
DIY'd the ones that they
and then they DIY'd like there's like some of the hip hop tracks were DIY'd, and it just sounded terrible. It sounded so bad. And like, you know, and that's a thing too. It might be a negative thing of them using stems, but at least for Guitar Hero, we're not mixing a game. We're not making remixes or anything.
Yeah.
We're just playing notes to a track.
Yeah, much simpler.
Very much simpler. Yeah.
Bring back GH tunes.
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing too. It's like if, you know, people really liked GH tunes.
Yeah, dude, it was great.
It was a great time. And I know I remember sitting in GH tunes and like making my own tracks. They always sounded like trash. They were always terrible. I just wanted to practice patterns. And like that's how we did it back in the day.
I mean, you would download like fucking JLC stuff, Sean Superstar stuff, Mr. Greg Murphy stuff. Like those were like the names that I remember. You know, like Frontline.
Oh my god,
Intense Torture, dude. Intense Torture. Yeah.
J Prez had some too.
He did.
There was what was his name? Mike 1SH. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he had some like
SH
really...
at the end of names, dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's just some like really complicated stuff that people were putting out in there, and it's just kind of the modern equivalent to, overcharts and stuff in Clone Hero and yada
and
yada
like
yada.
and like glitter stuff
But-
now too, which is like totally taking a life of its own.
Yeah.
Like I just want to hand it to like people who do glitter charts because like I tried. I can't. Like I'm so tainted
hard.
by making
Yeah,
regular charts.
Yeah.
It's hard to
It's a
make a
tou-
chart like that fun.
Yeah, like I wish I could like sit down and chart. I don't know how to do that.
I don't
That's
have time to
that's
chart
one,
anymore.
That's one thing where I have a vision and I can't exactly replicate it.
Yep.
Yeah, me too. I
and,
never
like
be able to do it.
making videos and stuff. That's a vision that I'm able to like bring to
Yes.
life at least. Like streams, I'm able to bring most of my visions to life. But like making a track, there's just so many things that go into it, and that's why I hope like they have tools that they can outsource to the community, and to be able to have other people chart the songs that are licensing, because like who knows, maybe the official stuff is going to be trash in the beginning, like maybe
It
it's
very
gonna
well
be-
might.
It very well might, because
Well,
it's not the same charters that are.
Yeah,
like,
it's not the
the
same
ones from
people.
15 years ago.
Neversoft doesn't exist anymore. They're
And
gone.
this is like
They got
this is a
folded
long
into
time.
Infinity Ward.
This is a long time after. I mean, like seriously, like it's
But there is a Microsoft studio that does just happen to have a lot of X-Harmonix employees at it.
really.
Wait, what are you referring to?
I've got quite a few old X-Harmonix friends who are at a company that just got acquired, and they're all like,
Ooh,
Interesting.
Oh
Okay.
fuck! Should we drop that?
I'm just saying.
Fortnite 2
He's
musical
been
experience.
waiting.
Yes!
Yes,
He's been waiting to drop that.
Finally.
I'm assuming this
But
should
that's
stay
like-
hushed. Which
Yeah.
studio it may or may not be.
Let them
Yeah,
come out.
yeah,
Let them come
yeah.
out and say it, right?
Let that be a thing first.
But
let
see, it's
that
like
come
that's
out
that's
publicly.
exciting though.
That's,
you know?
yeah, that's really exciting.
People
I'm
with
just pointing out
experience.
that there are people that have experience in the company. It's a matter of whether or not they use it. Who the hell
Yeah,
knows?
Right,
because
right,
I mean,
right,
the
right,
people
of
who
course.
were thrown on the Guitar Hero Live, how much experience did they have with Guitar
DJ
Hero?
They were
They were
DJ
DJ Hero. Yeah.
Yeah, they were
And
DJ
so-
Hero, and so like they did have like a sense of like understanding their vision, their scale of expertise, and the rhythm gaming, and the rhythm gaming atmosphere, and how to chart to their mechanics
Yeah.
themselves. So like, because they had DJ Hero, it was the 3 buttons and the scratching. That was a brand new.
Completely
There's
different.
nobody that did
Very unique.
nobody that did that before. Nobody did that, and so like they had to set their own standards, and I think that's why they did the 6 fret, the 3 on top, 3 on bottom. And
There's a lot of
because
overlap.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
overlap, and so like honestly, the best way to have. Well, I'm trying to think here the right way to say this. The best people to just put down the vision of like how a song is meant to be played on X controller is the people who fucking create it.
Yes. Exactly.
The people who created it. Like their
Yes.
standard was set by themselves. And so when it came to Guitar Hero, it went from Red Octane and Harmonix into Red Octane and Neversoft. And so I'm sure Red Octane had to, just say a couple of things and be like, yeah, if you take a look at these charts, you can do this, and that. But they're probably like, obviously, feel free to amp it up a bit. This is the 3rd game.
And they
they
did amp
put
it up
hype
alright.
behind it. And
And you've
amped it
talked
up alright. I
You've
talked
talked
to
to
Chris
Chris Vance. Yeah.
I
So
talked
like
to
you
Chris
know
Vance.
already. You got to know a lot of stuff that was never public knowledge before.
Yeah, and for the people who didn't catch that that podcast, he was talking about essentially in 7 months they pumped out 70 songs,
Which is insane.
which is that's
Because
how
you
many
have to
songs-
keep
how
in
many
mind,
songs
like,
are in
this is,
GH3,
like-
right. There's 70 tracks.
70.
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
and this was with like full difficulty as well, because in the custom community, like full difficulty, it's a fucking chore. Like just straight up, it's a chore. I wish it wasn't, because I would do it all the time. If I
AI
had time
generated
anymore.
lower difficulties.
I've been begging for this for like 2 years. But
But
yes, they had a lot more work on their plate, because they also had to have a department to mix the audio. They had to have a department to do QA work and everything. Like one of the things that Moose and I discovered is that, for example, the famous Thunderbolt in Raining Blood and Smash Hits was a
5-note chord.
huge point of contention. The higher ups did not like it, but
wow.
there was one person who was like taking it to his grave defending it. And so it ended up making
it stayed
through.
in the game because it was cool. I thought it was neat. But the people higher up at Activision, Neversoft, all those people were like, we think that this degrades the quality of our game, and we don't want it in the game. It feels this is like jumping the shark.
And now Beanox is getting shit on by the Call of Duty community. They have been.
Yeah.
So Karma's a bitch.
Ooh, Karma really is a bitch, man.
How does that 5-fret feel now? How's that 5-fret chord feel now, huh?
But just like the development in these games and everything, and like the amount of like I had asked about like I brought up the World Tour Band in the Box story. I was like, and I just asked him like 2 ex-QA, and one of them was Moose. He became a supervisor, right? Eventually, Alex,
like a product manager.
So I had asked him like, what was it like to know that like, hey, the instruments aren't working, and they were like, we would get pallets upon pallets upon pallets delivered to our offices. And they'd be like, "Hey, you need to test like all of these, like hundreds of instruments."
How do you even like run that through? Like,
I guess they had made like a checklist or something at that point. But even then, like, I mean, like I work on these things every day, and like I run into new shit like every week. You know what? Like, and it's like,
I think I remember seeing like a picture of the I don't know. I think it was in like China. And it was like a picture of a guy testing out Rock Band drums.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. They posted on a blog post, and they're like, "This is the QA testing in one of our manufacturers in China," or something like that. And it was like a really scuffed version of Rock Band 1 with like 4 songs and like a black background. But they like were able to test the drums right away. To make sure that every piece was working, and they're like drum prominent songs. I think it was like "Don't Fear the Reaper" and like "Danny California" and like "Paranoid" and like one more track or something like that. But like, it was just like a basic set list of songs that they would test out the Rock Band 1 drums on. We all know how the Rock Band 1 drums turned out. So like the QA testing kind of did its job.
Hey, listen, sock mod, penny mod, you're all good.
Sock mod, penny mod, it was all good, man. Yeah, no, and so I'm sure like the Rock Band 2 sets were just much better. The Rock Band 2 drum sets,
they were great.
Drum sets. I still have one, and it's really good.
Yeah.
Like,
Rock Band 2 set was fantastic.
Yeah, but as far as like guitars go, I mean, there are just like a lot of points of failure. But like they fixed the neck with the World Tour guitar, but that strum bar was not great. That strum bar was like not great.
Because I think what basically happened is that they raised cost in one way, and as a result had to lower cost in a different way. You know,
and also people were probably complaining like the strum bar is too loud. I can't play it in my grandma's house.
True.
I mean, look, man, it's not meant to be quiet. I don't know what to tell people anymore.
Oh yeah, what about Rock Band strats? They're silent.
Not the buttons, buddy.
Yeah. What about the buttons though?
So loud.
It's ridiculous.
Those buttons are so loud.
The buttons are really loud. Aiden's fucking reeling right now.
That's the one thing that I didn't understand.
Oh, yeah.
I was just like, those are the loudest buttons ever. But they fixed the. I remember feeling a Rock Band guitar, and they're like, wow, they silenced the strum bar. They really did it. And then I felt the frets, and I'm like, yeah. And I was like, that is just the weirdest backwards.
It is
way of
logic.
Thinking.
I
never liked them.
But I guess that leads into like, I mean, we got to talk about like new instruments, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
what are they going to do?
Yeah,
with new
instruments.
What's gonna happen? You know, what's gonna happen? Because it could could go so many different ways.
If there's anybody to speak on like theories and stuff, JP, it's you. Like when it comes to new guitars, I definitely want to hear your thoughts about it first.
So my thoughts realistically are like, I think that I think that the idea of like the whole detachable neck and being able to change faceplates was a really cool idea, first of all. And like, if they make another guitar, it wouldn't realistically have to be that much different from what they already made in the past, but strum switches, for example, like they don't make Alp switches anymore, like that used to be in Guitar Hero guitars. They just that manufacturer doesn't exist anymore. Anything is clones from China, which in all fairness, they might have been getting the whole time anyway, because like for those who don't know how manufacturing works, like it's 99% of it these days is outsourced to China. They have the means, they have factories, they have huge warehouses, giant like $1 million machines in rows, and you know, like I guess I have to talk about this now. People approach modders, they're like, well, just make a new guitar, and it's like, God, I wish it was that simple.
Yeah, let me just go get my injection mold machine, and I'll go get the dies cast.
Yeah. So to explain to people, like the way injection molding works is it's very literal. It's plastic injected into a mold, and making a mold at all costs thousands of dollars, like
tens of thousands.
Katana Mods, one of my good friends, and another like prolific modder in the community, way back when got an estimate from a company of how much it would cost to make a replica mold of a stock Guitar Hero fret. Minimum of $1,000
for a fret.
For just a single fret, minimum. Yeah.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah. So people don't realize, and they also don't realize that like these big companies already have a lot of capital funds and they negotiate. They can work out deals. When you're just an individual, they're going to treat you like dirt. You know what I mean? Because you know you're not a negotiator. You don't have like well, how much is it if we order 500,000? You know, molds. Because you have to remember like you know, one mold is one mold, and if you want to speed up manufacturing, you need multiple molds, and that's more money. And I don't have a one-way ticket to China. I don't have connections in China. Like, would I love to? Yeah, but even the bodies alone, like, you know, these bodies are, like, very, like, this is a very complex shell. Like, there's a lot going on in here, you know?
And before people start saying, like, why don't you just 3D print it?
I mean, I've got a big one over there, and it would be big enough, but the problem with 3D printing is that it takes a really long time. Injection molding is done on an assembly line. It takes a second, you know? It's injected, it's cooled down, it goes on an assembly line. That's it, and then it's assembled. You know?
Like, and if you did a 3D print, and if you had, like, you know, the exact dimensions, the exact type of, like, model that would print out, like, a Les Paul body, one side of it would take...
One side. It would take most of the day, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
most, like one guitar.
And so why don't...
guitar.
So extrapolate that out. That means that guitar would be very expensive to buy.
Yes, it would be very expensive because of labor and cost of material and time.
It would be like
hey,
$400 probably.
I'm gonna mention a name that people might have forgotten about. GamerX.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, GamerX.
Yeah.
No bells are ringing for me.
They tried and failed the 3D print bodies. I remember, and this was before I started 3D printing, so I didn't know anything about the technology. The main guy behind it, I believe his name was Buckeyes. He was a nice guy, you know, like he was genuinely trying his best. Like I think that, you know, it got crowdfunded to a certain point, and he realized in the end, like, this is going to be too expensive. I can't. So it's not no ill will. Like he tried, he really did, but he was doing a stream of like a 3D printer, like 3D printing one of the bodies, like really like big industrial printer. It failed halfway through. It came dislodged from the print bed. When you have a failure like that, not only do you have to restart, but you just lost out on all that material. Spools come in 1 kilogram, right?
It's a lot of wasted money.
Yeah, waste of money. A body's like probably well over 500 grams or close to 1 kilogram. And like, there are people on Etsy making like mini guitars and stuff, which I think is awesome. First of all, you know, I think that's great.
This shit right
here. Yeah. Like that's awesome.
This is cool. Look how small this is. I'm not a big guy. Wait, here's an iPhone. Here's an iPhone.
Yeah, seriously.
Plus,
you know,
iPhone Pro Max
that fits across your chest.
Yeah,
this is way longer than my chest.
Yeah, it's way bigger. You know.
Yeah, and you know, and yeah, there you go. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, look, brothers. See?
Yeah.
Don't talk to me or my son ever again.
Ever again. I never put that together.
These small projects are really cool because they're at scale. Like they're possible. You know, like you can do that on like printers behind me that have like an average print volume of like 220 to 230 millimeters. That's like average, you know. But like I started 3D printing faceplates, right? And like that already like
so sick, by the way.
That already takes like over 100 grams of material, so I can only do 9 per spool because it's over 100, and it takes like 3 hours, you know, and like, and so it's like you know, people don't you know, and like
the end result is really cool.
Yeah,
it is very pretty.
And I'm
very
so
pretty,
surprised.
yeah.
I'm so
You can
surprised you're selling
barely
them
tell.
for the price that you are selling them for. That seems cheap to me. Not to
Yeah.
plug you too hard, but it's like with 26 bucks.
I appreciate that. But like with new guitars, like I think what they would really need to do is, honestly, I have no hopes for mechanical switches in the frets, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm okay with that because if there's new guitars, then there's new membrane pads, so it's okay. You know what I mean? Whereas here, we're limited. Like I will say that after much deliberation and being convinced by friends, I have a ton of silicone pads. I'm gonna start putting them up in packs, because people have been asking. But
I have a whole package from JP that like they're just chilling
silicone,
there.
Yeah,
it's just all silicone.
But I'm okay with frets with membrane pads because it doesn't feel bad, like it's just.
It sucks to break in, and that was like one of the worst parts about like getting a new controller is that 80% of the time out of the box they would feel like trash. 80% of the time.
This like sucks.
Yeah.
And it's even Wii, so it has better silicone.
Yeah, I know.
It's better silicone. It's the ones that have like shorter travel distance and stuff like that, which only existed in a handful of Xbox controllers. Yeah, go for it.
What I think that they need to do is that they just need to kind of go back to basics. Like when I think of like one of the most reliable guitars, unironically, I think of the SG. Right?
Yeah.
Because the SG does not have a lot going on in it, whereas like you look at these Xbox 360 guitars and like it's a mess. There's a lot going on, but it's just it's like weird because and like I've talked to Alec about this. Like I will be the first to admit that like when I heard that like new controllers, like I got scared, because at the end of the day I run a business. I provide for the community as much as I can by trying to make good hardware, but I run a business But at the same time, I, as a lifelong Guitar Hero fan, accept the fact that like we need new controllers. We need them. It's dire,
Yeah.
Like I don't even want to be charging what I am. First of all, like first and foremost, but it's a business, and exactly, and like because people don't realize that like I have to buy the fucking things. Like that's where all the money goes. I have to buy them. I have to buy switches. I have to buy circuit boards. I have to buy printer filament. I buy printers. There's not as much money is being made as somebody might assume, right? And so it would be great if new guitars came out because, and I was talking to Katana about this, like where's the future heading, right? Like where are we going to be with the game and everything? And if new controllers came out, it would be for the greater good because, asking a casual player to pay what I sell them for is a big ask,
Yeah, for sure.
There's still very much people our age who prefer to go the route of something that they know that they can trust rather than spending less money on something that may or may not suck,
or just something that they know. Unfortunately, like, oh yeah, this is the one that I had when I was a kid. There you go, $300.
What kills me the most is when I see people saying, "Yeah, I bought this this brand new guitar from 2007 on Amazon.com. I paid $350 for it, and it doesn't work."
Dude,
I'm like,
I can't even tell you how
many people go to eBay, man.
How many people in Alec's chat and Discord have come in and they say it like, "Did I get a W?" And Alec will pause the game. He's like, "My man, I really hate to break the news to you."
I got a comment the other day that was like, "Is $300 for an Explorer good?"
No.
And I was just like, I just said no.
I just hate the fact that like people like think that that's okay. And it's not even their fault. First of all,
it's not their fault.
Like that would be like victim blaming. You know what I mean? Like it's not.
Just, the demand is so high right now because Guitar Hero is in such a good spot. Everybody, modern gaming, for the most part, it's just like come and go. Modern gaming is like come and go. Like Tears of the Kingdom, I waited 5 years for that game to come out. I finished it. It's done, and I'm gonna play the same live service game. Now, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go play Counter-Strike. I'm gonna go play Counter-Strike 2. I'm gonna go play.
Oh, yeah, you are.
I'm gonna go play fucking Call of Duty or whatever. And then it's just, I think.
Well, Guitar Hero fits the mold of that right now.
Yeah, like gaming, we just need like nostalgia. The nostalgia bait is the strongest in the gaming sphere right now.
Yeah,
And it's like
Activision is actively doing it right now with Modern Warfare 3.
Yes.
Like they have
Yes,
a
they are
blueprint and
straight
they're
up
following
doing
it, and I think they could easily copy paste that blueprint into Guitar Hero and sell tons of copies to us.
I think you just nailed it. I think you just nailed it right there, because nostalgia is the way that's winning. Keeping it simple, all the things that we just said, roll all of that together, and you've got a perfect recipe for the Game Pass idea for a platform for Guitar Hero.
And just put out a guitar. Let's not worry about full band right now. You know, like just put out the guitar.
Maybe vocals. Okay.
Yeah, that'd be easy enough.
Maybe you could do vocals. That'd be great. But I don't know. I don't know if that's like a thing that they would even focus on. You know, like the best way to play drums. You know, anyone who's grown up with the games probably has an E-kit. You know, anyone who's grown up with the games and stayed with the games
and takes it seriously now,
most likely has an E-kit, and maybe even plays it. Maybe is even in a band.
Jason, you have a Nitro Mesh, right?
Yeah,
you do.
So this is one of those things that I think, if they keep it simple, the problem with Guitar Hero 7 when it was being made was that they tried to overcomplicate the new guitars, and it became too expensive for them to produce. When they were going to make 6-fret guitars right after Warriors of Rock, that beta that they ended up coming out with.
6-fret inline, we should say too. If you haven't seen the leaked the prototype guitars, it was green, red, yellow, blue, orange, purple. There was a 6 purple button, and it was inline and not 2 rows of 3 like they did with Guitar Hero Live. So they did keep the 6-fret idea alive, just in a different format than what they were initially thinking of doing.
Because freestyle games, the people who made Guitar Hero Live, they had their own vision, you know, and that was like accessibility. They made a big deal out of the fact that you didn't have to use your pinky.
No, pinky. You guys hated using your pinky before, right? You guys put it easy.
Literally.
Oh, I gotta go to Medium. I gotta press blue with my pinky. That's too hard. You don't have to do it anymore.
They loved the idea of making it look like it was easier than it was, because I remember everyone saying with Guitar Hero Live, oh, it's only 3 buttons. I'm not going to play that. It's too easy. But then it was deceptively hard.
Dude, Guitar Hero Live is fucking difficult.
It is so. It's
hard.
It's fun. It's fun, but I never main that game.
And Jason did main it, so he knows. You know, he mained it, and I remember those days.
I don't think anyone's ever tried claiming my speedrun world record, which is really
no, they haven't. And
because that would like honestly make someone have to play Tie Your Mother Down, and that chart sucks.
And you did that back when you did that when we were still playing Guitar Hero 3 PC, right?
True.
Yeah, like Clone Hero was not even a thing yet at that point.
Yeah, I remember it took you some convincing to move over the GH3 PC, because like you did phase shift for a second too.
That's how I started streaming. Yeah, because
you did. Oh yeah, you came back to streaming, and you're like, and I was like, Jason, you're streaming again. Why are you playing phase shift?
I had never used.
No, and I get it now. I totally get it. And it was a minute, but we got like people, Guitar Hero 3 started growing because George was going crazy, and he was streaming streaming Guitar Hero 3.
I watched George religiously.
Yeah, and and everybody under the sun was going to Plamato's tutorial to get it all set up.
And No One Man as well, when he made the all-in-one installer.
Yeah, he made the installer. Dude, yeah. Setting all that up from scratch, I did that like 2 weeks ago.
So many times.
No way.
I've done it so many times that it just works.
It's just seared into your brain.
Yeah. You install the game, you install the patch.
Yeah, I could probably do it if I really wanted to.
Control panel, and then you install GH3 Plus. And the GH3 Plus what is it, update for GHTCP.
Yeah. What a fucking mess, man. Like we lived on that. We lived on that.
3D Analyze. We need 3D Analyze too.
Yeah, we need 3D Analyze to run it in window mode and no VSync.
Yeah.
That's exactly why Clone Hero took off right here.
Yes. And I remember the first day that you streamed it. I remember
that was wild. That was wild.
The Sandstorm video. I think that's the first major piece of Clone Hero content on YouTube.
Yeah, like when I remember the day that you because the initial reception to Clone Hero was kind of rough. People were just like, "This looks like shit," like that's really what people thought initially.
But I thought of it as phase shift, but it doesn't look like
shit. Yeah,
that's what
seriously.
I thought. All shades to the phase shift developers. I'm sorry, y'all did not want to accept notes.chart format, and that's what went to your downfall.
Yep,
that's what
100%.
happened.
I agree.
I'm sorry. I hope y'all are doing better in a different place, but
Hey, I bought your game. That's all I'm gonna say.
I bought your game.
Yeah,
I did,
yo,
and I gave it a fair shot.
I'm still waiting on that refund from the Steam purchase, man.
Yeah.
Oh no.
No. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, like, there's probably another time and place where we could just talk about the old, with the upcoming.
That'll be in a
of this
future
and
episode.
Yeah, I think
future
that would
episode.
be because like times were really rough at one point, and it was like fighting for survival. It was like animalistic. It was insane at some point.
Yeah, me and JP were there. We were there.
Yeah,
And like
it was
that's,
it was
that's
rough.
the important thing about like this podcast and stuff too, which it just brings me to why we're doing this all together is because we were there. We were there when a lot of these big things happened, and I think this is going to be a really cool.
I mean,
outlet for
did
people.
everybody in this call pre-order GH5 to get Van Halen for free?
Yeah, brother,
Yes.
I got it right there, man. I still have
Exactly.
there it is.
So I think that says all you need to know. Honestly, like like that,
So many
and
people didn't know that
the Soundgarden album too.
Yeah.
as a bonus.
That one's in there.
Yeah, I've still got that in like some paper CD case, because it came in a paper case, I think.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I pre-ordered every game. I stuck by. I was still buying DLC, and we all were,
Mhm.
like
I have a confession.
and that.
I have a confession about when I bought one of these games. This is one thing that I probably shouldn't say out loud, but I'm going to. I remember going to Best Buy with a bag full of quarters to buy Guitar Hero Metallica, and I was like, that's fine, it's all right, I'll just help them count it. But then I get there, and I felt guilty about this since this moment, because I get up to the counter, and I'm like, all right, it's me and this person, we're going to count it. The person who was counting at the counter, I swear to God, had one hand. And I've had that in my brain since, because I'm like, oh my God.
They can't even play the game.
I just walked up to buy a Guitar Hero from somebody with one hand with a bag of quarters, and I feel like a terrible person.
That would only happen with Guitar Hero too.
Oh my God. It's okay. My buddy bought an iPod Touch with dollar bills at a Best Buy once.
Oh my God.
And this was back when it was like $200 or something.
Yeah, so what, Metallica was like 60?
Yeah, I don't like that.
That's a lot of fucking quarters. You know what?
That's
I don't know.
That is a lot of quarters.
That's like heavy.
Choose your fighter.
Well, were you saving that up from like tips at work or something? Jeez, like I used to do that. I used to have like a coin jar, and I'd go to like the Coin Star and fucking. That was rough. Those were rough times.
We've evolved past that. We're better men.
Yeah, I'm not going to the Coin Star
Hey,
shop,
you know what?
shop at 7 a.m.
I found out that my Guitar Hero Van Halen copy came in when my mom was really mad at me for flunking middle school.
Ooh.
And I was just like, I really want to play Van Halen, but I can't.
Dude.
So I was like, oh God. It was a really bad time. But it's okay. We're better men.
I remember being so pissed off because I was on PS3 at the time, and for whatever reason they released the 360 version first to all the pre-orders, and then the PS3 had to wait like 3 weeks. So I was on YouTube watching George FC Eruption like 2 or 3 months before the game officially released. I was like, I want the game. I pre-ordered it. Why don't I have the game yet? And it was like 3 weeks later, I got it.
The funny part about that game is that they had a demo for Xbox Live, the Xbox version, and that had Eruption in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it did. It did.
Why?
It was like Eruption, End of
had Eruption,
and a third one that I can't think of.
Yeah,
dude. One of the interesting things we learned about Van Halen is that well, I guess it's not interesting. Me and Moose
it's boring.
We asked about the Painkiller intro, and they didn't have an answer. They were like, honestly, to this day, we have no idea why they cut it. Zero idea. They just did it, and it was like an executive decision, pretty much.
Either it wasn't an executive decision, or they just got sent that and they worked with it. Don't really know.
Yeah.
That's so weird. Like, I can understand if, like, I know for Judas Priest, when it comes to, like, Electric Eye, the reason why sometimes you'll see that in games without the intro, without the Hellion, is because they do actually license that as 2 separate songs.
It is a separate song when you look at the album. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to pay the rights for 2 songs to have the intro. So that, in that case, makes sense.
But Painkiller, that's a different story.
Painkiller,
that's different, man.
Painkiller's chart was really bad.
I've heard so many different stories about the Painkiller intro, like existing and how Rock Band got it, but Guitar Hero didn't. But like, I don't know anymore.
They don't. I mean,
truly,
we'd have
after
to.
that, I truly don't know anymore.
I mean, look. Maybe one day we can reach out to people who worked in like the note tracking department for that game,
Yeah.
or like the audio mixing, because like I feel like somebody has to know. Like I think that we'll be able to unlock some secrets. Through
That would
this
be
for
fun.
sure.
Yeah, so
That'd be
after we're
great.
done with this here podcast, I'm going to go put every game into my Xbox 360, go to the credits. I'm going to note down everybody's name. I'm going to go find them on LinkedIn. I'm going to go harass them all and say, hey, we have a podcast. I want to talk to you about some things.
Bro, hey, you have a digital footprint. We go live with this and you're saying that shit?
We're going to cut that. No worries. We're cutting that out.
Okay. All right. I think that's a good place to end it. I think that's a good place to end this discussion.
We should say, too, that we do plan on having guests on this
Yeah,
on this
we
show.
do plan on having guests, and I think we have some people that are gonna that are already like interested in talking to us. But
we also plan on making a name too. We're just
we plan on making
no name
a
yet, but we'll get there. This is our
I
test
think
run.
We'll probably figure out a name tonight or tomorrow night. It's gonna happen.
There might even be a name on this as you're watching it.
There might,
Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't know yet. We're gonna figure it
I think
out.
that'll be really funny.
It all just kind of came together naturally. We're just we're going with the
just
flow.
Like this just like this whole discussion, this whole episode. I think we got a lot of good thoughts down.
Yeah, it's unfortunate
had a good
because
discussion
I couldn't even
on
get
shit.
through my entire list that I had here. Let me open up my notebook.
what the fuck is that?
It's my
What is
notebook.
this
What are you talking
Middle Earth ass shit? What is?
Is that like full of like ShamWows or something? Like
about? No, it's paper, dude. What are you talking about? It's paper. I mean, I had written
Take that
down.
from the church?
No, I mean it's just my notebook. I wrote down topics. I have women be shopping, crypto, and new Guitar Hero games. So we only covered one of the topics, but I think that's a good spot to end it.
Oh,
there.
dude,
Next time on the
Hero
podcast-
Coin, Hero Coin.
Yeah, Hero Coin. Next time on the podcast, we'll talk about that first topic.
All right.
How about that? All
Yeah,
right.
that sounds good. Yeah, we'll start off with that.
Sounds
I think
great.
that sounds
Was
good.
that crypto?
That was women be shopping. We can do crypto the
Oh,
next
okay.
week.
I was like, what the fuck? I'm not
We'll
a
be
big
shopping
7-year-old. You get
for
outta
Guitar
here.
Hero.
Maybe coming 2024, 25, 26. Hopefully, maybe.
No. What did you
Alright.
say, Alec? 0.00000000007 seconds.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then the
it's already
new,
up.
Yeah. Oh, looks like
Yeah.
the new Guitar Hero game's out now. Oh shit! I gotta go buy it.
Yeah.